person had so much impact on the nation of Israel for the good as Jehu did. Jehu had killed King Ahaziah. He had had Jezebel killed. He had the 70 sons of Ahab killed, those 70 princes. He had actually fooled all the Baal worshippers into thinking that he was a Baal worshiper. And when he got them all together in one place, he barred all the windows and doors and set the thing on fire, and thus got rid of all the Baal worship and all of Israel. I'm telling you, he turned that nation upside down. But he stopped short. Quit. He compromised. You know, when I looked at this, I looked how Jehu killed all of Baal worship. He destroyed every bit of it. But he kept the sins of Jeroboam, which is calf worship. He didn't bother calf worship because, see, Baal worship wasn't really his thing. Calf worship was. See, he didn't have a problem killing everybody else's sin. But when it came to his, he didn't do much about that. And see, we don't have a problem looking and finding and dealing with other people's sin, but when it comes to what we deal with, that's what we have a problem with. And when I look at Jehu, you know, his compromise cost him his family, it cost him his country, it cost him greatly. And I can tell you it'll cost us as well. When I think about quitting, I think, like Brother Steve said about what Jesus asked his disciples, will you go away also? My question is, though, if we decide to quit today, where are we going to go? Where are we going to turn to? He's the one that's got the words of life. It ain't going to get any better if we quit on God. It's going to get worse. Right. I mean, I've got too much vested in this thing to quit now. I want to see how it all pans out. I want to see the good that God is bringing together. But there's some things that will happen in our life when we compromise, when we back down. What is the high cost of compromise? 3 things, and I'll be done. First thing that will happen, you compromise, you're going to have a stain on your name. A stain on your name. Look at verse 28. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. But then we have a dagger to the heart with the word, howbeit. You did good, but howbeit from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not from after them. And then verse 31 it says, but Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of the Lord his God of Israel with all his heart. For he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. You see, this has been thousands of years ago. And instead of reading about all the great things that Jehu did, and Jehu dying right with the Lord, how Jehu finished strong, and how he did all the things that God wanted to do, now we're reading about, well, he did good, but he didn't do that good. And he went, but he didn't go all the way. His heart was partly right, but it wasn't all the way right. There's a stain on his name, and we're reading about it in the Word of God in 2013 because he stopped short. He quit on God. He didn't do everything that he wanted him to do. And there's a great stain on his name. That word howbeit is a dagger in the heart. Well, I hope we don't get to the judgment seat of Christ to say, I said, well, you did good. You did good. Howbeit. Watch out. The stain on the name. You know, when I look at Jehu, he goes right at the top of the list for people that had the biggest wasted opportunities. I mean, he's up there with Adam and Eve. He's up there with Judas Iscariot. He's up there with those that had the greatest opportunity in their hands and they wasted it. Nobody would have stood in his way. They were afraid of it. There was such a holy fear brought upon the nation of Israel by this one man. Nobody would have stopped him. He could have done it, but he didn't do it. He stopped. He compromised. He quit. There's a stain on his name. Proverbs 22 verse 1 says, a good name is rather be chosen than great riches and loving favor out of church. We're going to your funeral, and the preacher has to stand over your casket and say a few words. What's he going to say? I've been to funerals before where the person that died was living out in sin, living like the devil. They had somebody, they said a little prayer when they were a kid or something, kind of testimony, and the preacher had to stand up there and give all these little generic remarks. Boy, they love life. Boy, they love the fun. They love this. Boy, they just like to live life to the fullest. You know what he's doing? He's dancing around what you really don't want to say. Because there wasn't really anything to say at that time. He didn't want to lie. I respected that. But what are they going to say about you? I hope when I die that somebody's able to say, man, he loved the Lord. Man, he finished strong. Man, he impacted my life or the lives of my family or friends for the Lord. I want that to be said. I don't want somebody to stand up there and go, well, he loved life. What does that even mean? It's nothing. If you die today, how would you be remembered? What would be said at your funeral? Compromise will leave a lasting stain on your name. It did protect you. I want a good name. But not only a stain on your name, it'll leave suffering on your children. Look at verse 30. And the Lord said unto Jehu, because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eye, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. Well, that sounds pretty good. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of God of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. And then it says, in those days the Lord began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them in all the coast of Israel. You see that? He cut God short, so God cut him short. And when we read that, it looks like that God is rewarding him by letting his descendants to the fourth generation sit on the throne. And he is. It is a reward. But what did we read? It was at this time that Hazael began to wage war on Israel. So instead of his children and his grandchildren and his great and his two great-grandchildren ruling in peace, they're fighting the enemy the whole time that they're reigning. Their whole life, they're fighting the enemy because of his compromise. They couldn't even enjoy the blessings and peace of God because of his compromise caused them to have to fight with the enemy. Hazael is a type of the devil in Scripture. He was the king of Syria. And you know what happened? He cut short on God. He compromised. He quit on God. So God took his protective hand off. And now Hazael, this type of the devil, is attacked. God help us. I tell you what's going to happen in your life. When you get out of the will of God, when you compromise and you quit, you know what happens? That protective hand gets lifted and you're fair game after that. It'll bring suffering on your children. You know, my kids are going to, if the Lord doesn't come back soon, they're going to have to grow up in a society where they're going to have to fight the devil enough on their own. I don't want to have to take my burdens and my sin and my compromise and let them have to wear that too. Because my decisions are going to affect them. And we better have the blessing and direction of God on our life. Don't quit on God. It'll cause suffering for children. I could give you examples that you would know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm not going to do it. But you've seen people get out of what God will happen. How their lives literally unraveled out of control and was destroyed. You know why? They protect them, came off. They got to will of God to bring suffering on your children. His children couldn't even enjoy the blessings of God because his compromise. They had to fight the enemy their entire life. And let me say that when it comes to compromise, the things that we tolerate, our children will embrace. The things that we put up with and turn a blind eye to and deaf ear to and just whatever, they're going to embrace those things because we tolerate it. We ought not compromise or quit on God. Even though things get discouraging, even though sometimes we get down, we don't need to quit because I want to see how it all pans out. I want to see what God's doing. Let's go all the way with God. And leave our kids and grandkids with a godly heritage and a godly legacy because compromise breeds suffering for generations to come. Not only suffering on the children, but also a stinging regret. Look at 34. Now the rest of the acts of Jehu, and all that he did, and all his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehu slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria. And Jehoahaz his son reigned in his stead. And the time that Jehu reigned over Israel in Samaria was 20 and 8 years. I want you to notice a couple things about this stinging regret. Jehu reigned 28 years. He had an allotted time. And when that time was done, it was done. It was over. There was no second chances. And whatever he had done, that's what the history books are going to show. It's the same way with us, friend. We've got an allotted time here. And when it's done, it's done. And whenever we're done with this life, eternity is going to be our reward, one way or another. And I'm going to tell you something, this life is nothing. It's just a vapor compared to eternity. So we need to be strong in the short term, be faithful to God and obedient in the short term, so we can enjoy the benefits and reward for an eternity. 28 years to be done. One chance. One allotted amount of time. If we don't allow the Lord to change our life, listen here. If you, right now, where you sit this morning in your life, if you don't allow the Lord to change some things in your life and in your heart and your mind, what's your regrets going to be? I mean, if it ended today for you and you look back and say, man, I wish I'd done it. I hope you're all saved. I hope none of you wake up in hell and say, man, oh, I wish I'd done that different. That's what the rich man did when he opened his eyes. He was tormented. Wishing he'd have done something different. Maybe you wish you'd have been more faithful to church or more faithful to witness or read or study your Bible. Maybe you wish I ran into a preacher the other day, and good God, that preacher loved his family, his kids. They just went away from God. And I don't know how we got on the subject. I asked him, brother, what would you do different? I said, advice to young people, what would you change? What would you do different? He said, I've done more with the family altar. He said, I prayed and ministered more to my family, stopped neglecting them so much. What is our church life at home? What is that like? He had a stinging regret. We only get one chance. What do your regrets be at the end of your life? Jehu now regrets his compromise. I guarantee he's all the way. Man, I wish I went all the way with God and just did everything that he asked me to do. I wish I wouldn't have quit. There's no telling what God could have done with this. They stopped short and they suffered because of it. I know we're going through a trying time. There's no doubt about that. I know that our main focus, our main trial is our pastor. But I know even under that umbrella, y'all are dealing with personal trials of your own, having to deal with that weight. And it's tough, I guarantee you. I'm dealing with some of mine. But I guarantee you, the Bible says that sorrow and weeping may endure for the night, but joy cometh in the morning. That's not necessarily talking about a literal go to bed at night and wake up. Sometimes it happens like that. But I guarantee you we've been at night since March now. But I can promise you the morning is coming. The morning is coming, and when that sun comes up and shines on me, I want to have a clean conscience before God. I want to see the good that he's working. I don't want to ever stand before God and say, well,